to bed. I know that there's only one bed, so can we put fake dating trope in the bed and then row it out to sea? What's up, y'all? I am so incredibly excited to give you part 1 of my anti-TBR for 2023. People are coming out with their most anticipated books of 2023 videos, and I have been really excited and enjoying the heck out of watching everyone talk about the books that they are so excited for. And I recently released a massive video where I talked about 60+ books that I am the most highly anticipating for 2023. That video is going to be linked down below for y'all who haven't seen it yet. I'm so proud of it, and I've had really good feedback on that video. As I was sorting through that list, I started thinking about the books that I continue to see everybody else be really geeked about that I was not excited for. So these are going to be just some of the books that didn't make the cut. These are going to be some of the most anticipated books that I'm seeing y'all talk about that I have absolutely no interest in reading. In fact, I point blank, flat out refuse to read these books. But before we get into the nitty and the gritty of these books, I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's video, which is none other than Ana Luisa. Ana Luisa is an incredible jewelry company that is sustainable and offers luxury jewelry pieces without those luxury markup prices. So you get to look fly without having to break the bank. They offset 100% of their carbon emissions. We absolutely love a jewelry company that actually walks their talk. In addition to that, Ana Luisa's pieces are one of a kind. They are pieces that you can't get anywhere else, and that is one of the many reasons that fans of Ana Luisa flock to their art, is because it is truly sensational. Every time I wear one of their pieces, I always feel like I'm standing out, even if it is some of their more elegant and understated pieces. And the best thing about this company is that their pieces start at just $39. Y'all know I rock hard with Ana Luisa, and I have for several years now, so I want to showcase a few of the pieces that they have sent over. The first piece I want to showcase is this incredible necklace that I am wearing. A beautiful, simple, elegant silver chain with a gorgeous green stone. How stunning is this necklace? It says "look at me" in 9 different languages, and I'm absolutely rising to the occasion. Next up, we have these incredible little hoop earrings. I love a little huggy. We're having a huggy moment. I'm in my huggy era, if you know what I'm saying. And I love these because they are those simple, nice, elegant gold huggies, but we get to spice it up a little bit with these gorgeous green stones. To complement these fantastic huggy hoops, we have a gorgeous ear cuff. Y'all know that I've been obsessed with ear cuffs as of late. They are a really great way to give yourself that multi-piercing look for those of you who only have one piercing in your ear like myself. I'm absolutely obsessed. And the final piece that I want to showcase are these really cool, unique, one-of-a-kind earrings. I honestly don't even know how to describe these earrings. They are sensational. They're simple, but also a conversation starter. I really love them. So if you want to get these pieces for yourself and check out the rest of Ana Luisa's incredible catalog, do yourself a favor and use my discount code, which is bowties20, to get 20% off. Spoil yourself because you know that you deserve it. Thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring another one of my videos, and without further delay, let's get into the books that I refuse to read in 2023. I'm ready to get crucified on the stake for some of these books, and some of them may or may not surprise you, but we're gonna get started right away by coming from Miss Margaret Atwood. I would be so happy if I never had to hear this woman's name again. I do not like Margaret Atwood. I don't like her writing. I don't like her personal politics. I don't like her feminism. She is an author that I have just realized is simply not for me. I love that so many of you are really geeked about her books, and I just, quite simply, I'm good on them, especially after the comments that she made earlier this year, or was it the end of last year, about Native American folks. I'm just good. I'm forever and 100% good on Margaret Atwood. And Miss Atwood is torturing us.
I mean, I'm so sorry.
Giving us not one, but 2 new books in 2023. And I actually think that there might be a third. But at that point, I just stopped looking into it. I was just like, you know what? My heart is already breaking at 2, so let's just move on. So the first book that I want to talk about is a short story collection, which is supposed to give like fairy tale-esque vibe. That book is called Old Babes in the Wood. And I just have to say that this cover is just simply not it for me. Comment down below, what do y'all think of this cover? Is it doing things for y'all? Are those things positive? Because the things that this cover is doing to me all make me sad. And so this is described as a dazzling collection of short stories from the internationally acclaimed award-winning author of The Handmaid's Tale, and these stories are supposed to look deep into the heart of family relationships, marriage, loss and memory, and what it means to find a life together. And in one of the stories, you have 2 intrepid sisters who grapple with loss and memory on a perfect summer evening. So it's definitely giving that folkloric, modern, classic vibe, which is super, super popular. And I am a fan of those fairy tale-esque folklore types of stories myself, but like I said, Atwood just isn't an author for me that I personally enjoy reading. She has another book that people are really, really geeked about, and you may or may not have heard of it, but it's called what is it called? 14 Days. And this is a book that I'm really excited to kind of like see what y'all are thinking about. It is described as being set in the Lower East Side during the early days of COVID-19. And the readers have very specific opinions on representation of the pandemic in books. Some readers just want to pretend like COVID never happened. They don't like seeing it mentioned in their books. Other readers, they don't have an opinion. They're like, yeah, I don't care. And then there are other readers who are like, yeah, I mean, I think it's something that actually happened and let's talk about it. I'm down to see it incorporated into fiction. For me personally, I'm definitely not offended when authors decide to mention COVID or make it a part of their books, because it is a massive thing that has impacted people's lives irrevocably in so many different ways. So I am personally not turned off or offended when an author brings up COVID in their literature. Really excited to see what you guys think of pandemic oriented books, or just books that mention the pandemic. Basically, it's 1 week into the COVID-19 shutdown when tenants of this Lower East Side apartment building in Manhattan have begun to gather out on the rooftop and tell stories. And so slowly the tenants have become real neighbors. And so it's basically just about these 14 days and how this horrible loss and suffering has caused them to create a community. And again, if Atwood wouldn't have written this book, I would probably be interested in it. Maybe, I don't know. And we have to talk about the new book from Leigh Bardugo. Oh my god. This is going to be the second book in the Alex Stern series. As y'all know, I did not like Ninth House. I will never get that time back. There's a very specific type of dark academia that I do enjoy. I'm not gonna get into it in this video. But for the most part, when people, the books that people say, let me rephrase, the books that people are talking about when they say dark academia are usually the kind of dark academia books that I can't stand. And unfortunately, Ninth House was one of those books. I wish I could. I tried so hard. I binge read so many of these really popular, aesthetically pleasing dark academia books that that a lot of readers are very, very excited about. And through binge reading those books, I just learned that commercial dark academia is very much not for me. And there's a bunch of reasons why, but I'm not going to get into it in this video. A future video, maybe, perhaps, we'll see. Long story short, I did not enjoy Ninth House. It is not for me, and people are very excited about the long anticipated sequel, which is called Hellbent. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw this cover, I thought it was a woman. I glanced at the cover and that was just what I saw. And then I looked closer and I'm like, huh, oh, it's not a rat, it's a rabbit. Is it a rat or a rabbit? It's a rat-bit. It's a rabbit. It just looks so unwell that I can't tell what it is. Is it a human? Is it a rat? Is it a rabbit? Is it a mythical?
Nobody knows,
because it looks like it's having a terrible day. And I'm just noticing the way that the arm of it is going through the letters as if we haven't suffered enough. So in this sequel, we're going back into the world of Alex's world of murder and magic, which is set at Yale. And this is like a secret society, dark academia, really just messed up story with a very badass but very traumatized and grieving protagonist. She is determined to break Darlington out of hell. So I guess someone went to hell and I wish it were me. Next up, I feel like if I haven't pissed you off already, I'm pretty sure my next opinion is gonna get you there. So just don't worry, just stay tuned. I'm not even doing this on purpose. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of the things that I like in books are just not popular in the community right now at this moment. If you haven't already canceled me, I know what's gonna happen with this next one. I already know y'all are gonna be like, Jessie was trying to root for y'all and you make it so difficult to love and support you. I understand my father felt the same way. That's why he left. So the next book that I'm going to be talking about is Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. And this is where my queer card gets revoked. I already know it. This is where my trans card gets pulled. It's just all of my LGBT flags are just being yanked out from under me. Look, I don't know what it is, but these comics do not interest me. These books do not interest me. The TV show adaptation does not interest me. And I have no doubt that I would potentially enjoy them. I don't think that I would hate them. It's just, if I'm not excited to pick something up, I'm not going to make myself pick it up just because everyone else says it's good. I did that earlier on in my booktube career. I just kind of forced myself to pick up things because they were popular and they were celebrated. And I wanted to be with the crowd. I wanted to be with the hype. And I ended up reading a lot of books that I didn't enjoy, or I just ended up not getting to the books that I had been excited about because I was trying to make myself do what everybody else was doing in the book community, right? Or at least people in my circle. And I realized, I was like, first of all, no one is asking me to do this. Literally no one in the book community is mad at me for not reading these books. So I realized that pressure was literally just me putting on myself. And also I had to just come to realize that FOMO doesn't need to be a thing. Instead of worrying that I'm missing out on what other people are enjoying, I can build community with people who are geeking out about the same kinds of things that I am. And that's what's so cool about booktube is, okay, you can't find anybody who's standing this one book that you love. So you can do research and seek them out, and then you get to make these awesome new friendships. And if it's just the two of you against the world talking about this book that nobody else seems to care to read, oh fucking well. You know what I'm saying? And so it took me a lot of time to have the confidence in myself to be like, I don't need to pressure myself to participate in that super hot readathon or to read that super hot book or read that super hot series simply because it's what's gonna get me views or it's what's going to make me popular with other booktubers or well, like whatever, you know what I mean? I realized that I wasn't happy making myself do that. So Heartstopper is a perfect example of a very big, like, cult favorite, crowd favorite, booktube beloved piece of literature, a series, and I just simply have no interest in it. Next up, this is going to be published on March 2nd. We have The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi, excuse me, and this is by Shannon Chakraborty, and I'm not really interested. I am open to reading I think it's called the Daevabad trilogy. I'm open to reading that for an experiment video. But other than that, I'm not interested in the City of Brass books. And this is the same author who wrote the City of Brass series. And so this is a new series from her. And we are following a girl named Amina Al-Sirafi, an ex-pirate, I love pirates, who is looking forward to a peaceful rest of her life, but she gets a chance of a lifetime to go on one last adventure and try and retrieve her former crewman's kidnapped daughter, and of course get well paid for it. And it becomes clear that there's more to the job than she was told.
Which is like literally every synopsis about executing a job ever.
Now this is one of the books that I can be persuaded on. If I'm seeing a lot of people who we have the same reading taste, that kind of thing, being like, oh my god, this book is amazing, you have to read it, I would be willing to sway my position on it like a little reed in the wind. But for the most part, I just flat out am not interested in this book. Yes, it does have some buzzwords, but it doesn't make me enough. What is English? Those buzzwords aren't enough to inspire me to put this on my anticipated list, or even if I never heard about this book again, it would never come up in my mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I know I really want to read a book, is do I think about it after I've heard the synopsis, that kind of thing. Does it linger? Does it have lasting impact on me? That sort of thing. I've also heard a lot of people chattering about Silver in the Bone, and this is a book that releases on April 4th, 2023. Aside from the fact that this cover is giving unfortunate, the synopsis, I know, again, it's another unpopular opinion, Arthurian mythos, Arthurian legends do nothing for me. That is a big selling point for Legendborn. The Arthurian, I really don't care about that. Like that, if anything, that was a draw down. That was like a, for me. Even as a kid, and I really loved Disney. I really loved those old stories. I loved myths growing up. And the Legend of King Arthur it never calls me. I never cared about Excalibur. It never interested me for whatever reason. It just never spoke to me. And in this book, we are, oh my God. I forgot it's the same author who did Lore. And when Lore came out, I looked at it, even though the cover is super cool, I had a weird feeling. Sometimes you just have a reader intuition. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Where you look at a book and you were like, I am going to hate this book. You just know it. Like you feel it in your core and you're like, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. That's how I felt with Lore. That is one of the most polarizing books, I think, in the book community because people really loved that book or just really hated it. And when I started seeing reviews come out from people whose reading tastes align with mine and they all hated it, I knew I was right on the money with that. I just knew that that book was not gonna be for me. And I don't like picking up books that I know going in I'm not gonna like. I would rather not have to do a rant review. I would rather gush about books than tear them down. That is just my personal preference. So anyway, this is by the same author.
It's all making sense here.
So let's look more into the synopsis. Arthurian legend inspired story about a girl chasing a magical ring that might free her brother from a terrible curse. But to have even the slightest chance of getting the ring, she will need to team up with her rival and dive into dark magic that is way more dangerous than it is helpful. Again, for some reason, the whole magical ring thing has never done it for me either. I think what it is that I'm very picky about my quest for a magical object stories. And I think I've always been like that for some reason. I don't know exactly why. Some of those stories really work for me, such as Son of the Storm. That magical artifact of legend, of myth, of lore really works for me in that story. But in Lord of the Rings, those kinds of stories just usually just don't do it for me for whatever reason. We also have a book called Practice Makes Perfect, which releases on May 2nd that I literally want to run away from. This book is absolutely everything that I do not like. First of all, you guys know that I am not big into rom-coms. Those of you who watch my channel know that the rom-coms that I enjoy are usually, almost always, food romances and or queer sapphic books in particular. It is very rare, it is very difficult to get me to enjoy a romance that is not LGBTQ, specifically sapphic, or revolving around food. I'm just very specific about what I like in romances, and it is because, say it with me if you've been here for a while, y'all know that I prefer to get my romances from fantasy and horror. 300 pages of cute. I wish it worked for me, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't. That's just not how my brain works. That's not what gets my heart pumping because I'm sick. These kinds of really cute, quirky rom-coms, I wish I enjoyed, but unfortunately it's just not my personality. And so this book, Practice Makes Perfect, first of all, I can tell right away from the cover, it's a no for me. Even though the cover is really cute, like I can acknowledge logically how cute it is and just know that I'm absolutely gonna hate it. Basically, this is a book where we have a flower shop girl and a tattooed bad boy, a friends to lovers romance. And you would think that I would enjoy this because I really do love greenery and guardedness. I love it. And I do enjoy a friends to lovers. Do I? Yeah, I do. I'm not interested in it though. And Catherine McManus is coming out with another book in her One of Us is Lying series. This is a series that people absolutely love. And I just am not interested in it. It's never called to me. Since these 4 kids continue to find themselves in trouble, I just respectfully propose that they move and maybe switch schools. It's time to go. And I know people are gonna be super excited about this book. It's the final installment in a very beloved series. And there's gonna be lots of rereads. There's probably gonna be a few read-alongs, read-a-thons surrounding these books. But for me personally, the series has just never, ever called to me. It's never interested me. Please don't burn me alive at the stake, but Emily Henry's new book, I had to look up the name because every time I try to pull the name of this book from my memory, I'm just bombarded, just slapped across the face with a wet fish because of the cover. The cover is so bright. Why is this cover brighter than my future? Oh, that's right, it's called Happy Place. This cover is not my happy place. What is going on? So this is a book about a couple who broke up months ago and they pretend to still be together for their annual week-long vacation with their best friends. And again, with the, what is the trope called that everybody loves? The fake dating trope. Can we put it to bed? I know that there's only one bed, so can we put fake dating trope in the bed and then row it out to sea? Can we have a Viking funeral for the fake dating trope? I think it's just gotten out of hand. It has simply gotten out of hand. I tried to read People We Meet on vacation, and that was all that I needed to know about Emily Henry's writing. Simply not for me. Simply not for me. I love that she has such a big cult following. I absolutely love that for her. I think it's awesome, but the kinds of romances that she writes just don't speak to me, and this book speaks to me the least out of all of the books that she has written. So if you actually want to see the experiment video that I did where I read viral TikTok romances, I will leave that link down below. I tried. An attempt was made. So many attempts, several attempts. Now we have a book that comes out really soon, and that is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert, who's one of the most beloved romance authors of all time. I have not yet gotten into Talia Hibbert's books. I do own, I think, all 3 books in the Brown Sisters trilogy. I intend on reading them for some kind of experiment at some point, but again, those are books that I'm only reading because BookTube says that I should read them. Specifically, a lot of booktubers enjoy them, and since I already own them, I'm like, yes, I will give these books a shot. But I already kind of just have a feeling that they're not going to be for me, simply because I'm already not that interested. And this new book sounds just flat out unappealing to me personally. I'm sure it's gonna be a phenomenal book, but it just doesn't call to me. We're following a content creator and an athlete who have to test their abilities to survive the great outdoors and each other. And the cover is not doing this book any favors. I know people are super geeked about it, but I just don't think I'm gonna enjoy it, and so it's gonna be a no for me, dog. Then we have Cassandra Clare's Chain of Thorns. Damn, y'all wouldn't even let me say it. Natasha, will you give me some water? Can I have some water? She's not gonna get it for me. She's mad too. Please help me. So, believe it or not, I've actually never read one of Cassandra Clare's works. And again, that is because they just don't call to me. I don't think that I would enjoy them. There is a chance that I would, but I know that the Chain of Whatever books are absolutely beloved, that we are just a huge, huge fan as a community of these books. And I have had zero interest in reading them. I do not want to sit and read a 900-page epic of a series that I'm just not interested in, and this is going to be the thrilling and highly anticipated conclusion to the Last Hours series. People have been loving this series, and so if you are a person who knows my reading taste, I would love to know in the comment section down below if you think I should give this series a chance. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think that I should read the Last Hour series. Do you think that I would like them? That was a lot. I'm so sorry to everybody that I offended by not wanting to read these books. There's nothing wrong with you enjoying these books, these authors, these tropes. They're just not for me. I just want to read things that I'm actually interested in, things that I'm geeked and excited about. And there's so many books that I'm so geeked about. Like I said, that video where I talk about my most anticipated releases, that's 60 books. I already have 60 books that I'm geeked about, so why would I try and make myself read something that I'm not excited about simply because it's popular? You know what I mean? That's just my perspective. So I hope that I didn't upset any of y'all too badly by not being into these books or these authors. Now, let me know in the comment section down below. Help me out here. What books do y'all refuse to read that are highly anticipated in 2023, and tell me why? Because I think it would be really fun to make a video of the books that y'all refuse to read. And I know there's gonna be at least one more video where I talk about highly anticipated books that I don't wanna read. I think anti-TBRs are fun, they are cathartic. Let's just get some honesty out there in the air. That book talk romance and the anticipated releases video are going to be linked in the description box down below, along with the the information about Ana Luisa. Check out Ana Luisa, get yourself fitted with these amazing pieces and others, use the code bowties20 for 20% off. Give yourself the gift of extravagance and excellence. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. We do fun stuff over there each and every month. Next month's buddy read, January, is going to be Tomorrow, and Tomorrow, and by Gabrielle Zevin, I believe, and the Sprint guest host is going to be Chloe of Books with Chloe. We are very, very excited about that. Stay safe, be good to yourselves, be good to others, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.